All right, Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, we like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Mashalchum like it was shy. That is to say, Yahweh, being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world will call God, and Yahweh Shai, being the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This is Brother Casadia from WW3 Jersey, Philly. And as you see on the screen, it's breaking news. Trump announces he decided to sell Tomahawk cruise missiles to Ukraine. We're going to dive into why that's so important, what these Tomahawk cruise missiles are all about. But let's click into this video. This is a few hours ago. Trump had made this announcement. It's been circulating. They've been trying to keep certain things under wraps more and more. But all praise to the Most High was able to get to this video to bring this out for Israel. But I'm going to show you this.
You made a decision on whether to supply Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine or sell them to NATO and let them sell them to Ukraine.
Yeah, I've sort of made a decision, pretty much. If you consider, I think I want to find out what they're doing with them.
Yes.
You know, where are they sending them? I guess I'd have to ask that question.
Right. So what he's saying is he made a decision on these Tomahawk cruise missiles. And this is just devil talk. He's speaking devil talk. He's saying he think he made a decision, or he made a decision. He sort of made it. You know, he wants to know what they're going to do with him. He knows what they're going to do with him. Just a few days ago, he had came out and said, let me see if I can actually get this real quick. Right? Just a few days ago, he had came out and said that he's sending, what did he say? Let me see if I can find this real quick. I didn't have this pulled up. I just thought, right? And if you haven't already, definitely follow us on the Watchman for Israel X account. But nevertheless, a few days ago, he had came out and said essentially that he's sending the so-called biggest threat to Russia. And he announced that, like I mentioned, a few days ago. Now, what is he talking about? What is he alluding to? Well, now we know that he's actually talking about these so-called cruise missiles, which are nuclear capable cruise missiles that can be launched and have, like, I believe, like 15 different re-entry points into whatever designated target they want to go ahead and attack. Now, this is big news because now Russia's going to have to treat this as if they were nuclear capable. They can't really wait until it attacks and, wait around. It hasn't been announced how many he sent to Ukraine. If he's going to send them to NATO, then send from NATO to send it to Ukraine. It's all the same side of the coin. But the point is, again, this is a big deal because I want to show this video. Putin just came out and said that this is a red line.
Putin said that if the United States supplied Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine for long-range strikes deep into Russia, then it would lead to the destruction of Moscow's relationship with Washington.
Там были вопросы, связанные, скажем, с обсуждением проблем с поставками новых систем оружия, в том числе дальнобойных систем, высокой точности, это томагавки и так далее. Но я уже сказал, что это приведет к разрушению нашего.
So he said, I've already said that this will lead to the destruction of our relations, or at least the positive trends that have emerged in these relations.
Отношения. Во всяком случае, наметившихся позитивных тенденций в этих отношениях.
Less than 2 months since US President Donald Trump met Putin at a summit in Alaska, peace looks even further away with Russian forces advancing in Ukraine.
Right, and ever since that so-called peace summit, it has been nothing but more and more chaos. It's been immediately following that, Trump has given a green light. They had a NATO closed door meeting. It's been further and more tension that's been arising between these two. And every time this so-called president, talks about peace being on the earth, it's nothing but all hell breaking loose. Who is him to declare that there's going to be peace when the Lord said there would be no peace? How could he go and utter a thing that the Lord never said? Right? This is Jeremiah chapter 14, And I want to get, right, because he's out here speaking and saying that there's going to be peace. When did the Most High ever say it was going to be peace? This is Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 13. Then said I, Lord Yahweh, behold, the prophets say unto them, ye shall not see the sword, neither shall ye have famine. But I will give you assured peace in this place. And that's what he's saying. See, when you read it, this is going into false prophets. And we know there's a false prophet, right? Under the disguise, in the deception, in a rule that's been pulled over the eyes of all so-called Americans. These devils that run his land, they're the false prophet. Right? Didn't the Lord say this in Revelation chapter 16 and verse 13? And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, right? The Roman Empire, which is reborn again under the guise of America, right? Call themselves America or, North America, whatever the so-called USA. Hey, the Lord said they're known as the mouth of the dragon. It says, and out of the mouth of the beast, right? The beast, referring to the 2 beasts in Revelation, the 13th chapter. First beast being a so-called NATO, right? And the second beast being none other than America, which is again Rome regenerated. It says, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. And there's lies that's been pushed out of the mouth of the false prophet, none other than the so-called white man. And these, and of course the religion and the political system that he set up as well. But we see at a high level, they continue to show themselves as being who the Most High prophesied of in Revelation, the 16th chapter. And again, Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 14, it says, it's like 13. Then said I, Lord Yahweh, behold, the prophets say unto them, ye shall not see the sword. And we see that. We know that there's, and we know this is multiple levels. We understand, of course, this is our people in the ancient world prophesying, letting Israel know nothing's going to happen to them. But the whole time the Most High was stirring up the ancient Babylonians. We know that even today, a lot of our people that's, set up in positions of leadership in these churches, rocking our people to sleep, whether it be Christianity, whether it be Catholicism, whether it be Islam, 5%, so on and so forth. But also anyone that's prophesying, saying, thus said the Lord, but the Lord never said it, and that man's also a false prophet. And that's what's happening right now in this world. Where you have on the back of the US dollar bill, it says, in God we trust. It might be on the front of the dollar bill, one of the two. But the point is, they're saying in God we trust and is one nation under God. But the Lord never was dealing with this nation. He never was dealing with this country. And in fact, he has a destruction appointed for this place. They said there's going to be peace and serenity and safety. But the Most High never said that. In fact, the Lord said, no peace, say Yahweh, unto the wicked. That's Isaiah 48:22. Ye shall not see the sword, neither shall you have famine, but I will give you assured peace in this place. And that's what they're prophesying of and saying that's going to happen. Trump declared himself the peace president. He literally came out and said that. See if I can get this real quick. This is June 23rd, 2025. It says Trump said he would be a peace. Oh, you see that? Trying to stop that. Trump said he would be a peace president, but it was all lies, said critics. So he came out and said that he would be this peace president, but hey, it's been revealed that he was just lying, as the devil that he is. Trump campaigned to stop endless war, but now he's bringing the U.S. into a dangerous new one. So he heralded himself as a so-called peace president, and he stopped 7 wars, and he's about to stop an 8th war. But he's the one causing these wars. This devil. All 4 of them are just devils. Right? And the Most High is about to get up with them. So let's go back to this. Verse 14. Then said Yahweh unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not. Neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination and a thing of naught, and a deceit of their heart. And that's clearly, not orchestrated by the Most High for there to be peace upon his land. In fact, again, we know there's judgment that's coming. The land cannot be cleansed but by the blood of him that shed it. How do they think they can just sweep, hundreds of years of bloodshed, robbery, and murder and just sweep it under the rug, and now everything's going to be kumbaya and peace and safety? No, absolutely not. They got to get the judgment that they brought upon us. Hey, they got to get it 2 times over. The Lord said it was not unto us to drink of that cup, but they surely made us drink of it. Right? Because they went above and beyond. So again, Putin said what he said, right? Putin said what he said. Now I want to show you just exactly what this Tomahawk cruise missile can actually do. Let's check this out.
How far can a Tomahawk missile travel? The answer might surprise you because most people think these missiles just fly straight to their target and explode, but that's not even close to the truth. A Tomahawk can travel up to 1,500 miles, which means a U.S. Navy submarine sitting safely off the coast of one country can hit a target deep inside another country without ever being in danger. But here's where it gets crazy. This missile doesn't just fly in a straight line. It can actually loiter in the air, meaning it flies around in circles like a vulture, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And the ship or submarine that launched it can pre-program up to 15 waypoints, or retarget it mid-flight via satellite to a new single target. So one missile could pivot from a radar site to a command bunker on the fly. And here's the craziest part. Since 1991, over 2,300 of these have been fired in combat, from Iraq to Syria to Yemen, and every single one traveled hundreds or even thousands of miles before finding its target, with accuracy within 10 meters.
With accuracy within 10 meters. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. So how could there be peace? Let's get another precept on that. How could there be peace when you're breaking a line that was clearly drawn by Putin, saying, look, this is going to turn tensions or relations sour, and they go out and immediately go do it? Just like somebody saying, look, touch me and see what I'm going to do to you. And then you touch them, you actually touch that person. Well, guess what? Now you're about to see what they're about to do. This is Jeremiah 4:10. Then said I, Lord Yahweh, surely thou hast greatly deceived this people and Jerusalem, saying, ye shall have peace, whereas the sword reacheth unto the soul, and is nigh unto the soul. The Most High has drawn arrows and a drawn sword. This is Psalm chapter 7, verse 12. If he turn not, right, if the wicked don't turn back, right, and we know that the so-called white men, they're not going to turn back. Read about that in Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Verse 4 on down, his soul is, let me get it real quick. Let me not misquote it. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up, right, meaning proud, arrogant, not able to turn back because they're too far gone. There's a thing being too far gone, right? Your mind is just too astray. You're just too hardened. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Right, so his soul is lifted up. Back to Psalm chapter 7, verse 12. It says, if he turn not, he will whet his sword. What does it mean to whet the sword? W-H-E-T means to sharpen. It says to sharpen, hammer, whet, to hammer, sharpen sword, right? So on and so forth. So you would do that just like you would sharpen a knife when it gets dull. And the Lord said, guess what? His sword is being sharpened right now. He had bent his bow and made it ready. The modern day bow and arrow is what you just seen right there, where you're able to launch these missiles off of whether a submarine, whether one of those missile silos, those missile launch pads. That's the modern day bow and arrow.
Can hit a
Where you can
target
have-
deep
Where you can have things like
inside
this take
another
place,
country.
right? So it says, if he turned not, he would whet his sword. He had bent his bow and made it ready. He had also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. So the Most High ordained these things from on high, right? From on high, these things that have been ordained. This is Psalm chapter 58, verse 7. Let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be as cut in pieces. And we seen that just now. We seen that these things, these missiles, have capabilities to rip through even the toughest metals.
Even thousands of miles before finding its target, with accuracy within 10.
Even the toughest metals, how much more man? How much more a soul? So guess what? When this man comes out and he says he's going to be the peace president, surely he's the devil, and surely there's a lie in his heart. And surely this is not a light thing that he just announced that Ukraine is receiving Tomahawk cruise missiles. Most High willing, you keep watch. If there's any more news, Lord willing, we're going to update you through the Spirit. We're going to give our honor and our glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Hamashiach, Malak Yahushai. Brother Gasadi from WW3 Jersey, Philly. Kwame Sharella. Keep watching these last days. Shalom.